Okay, for today, it's a subject that was suggested by one of you, my dear subscribers, and it's related to the misconception or historical misconceptions that are being accepted today. So, this I think is a very interesting ASMR subject, and I gathered here I think more than 30 historical misconceptions. Some of them are very interesting, so stay close. First, the misconceptions or historical misconceptions are inaccurate or incomplete understandings of past events, people, cultures, but they have widely been accepted as a true. From where the misconceptions arise? Well, in some perspective, there are factors that are included, like misinterpretation of evidence, lack of evidence, stereotypes, and intentional propaganda. Well, let's discover the true facts about 30 of very known historical misconceptions. And we're gonna start with first one with Christopher Columbus. Well, Christopher Columbus did discover America. Well, while Columbus did reach Americas in 1492, he wasn't the first to do so. Indigenous people had been living there for thousands of years, but it seems that the Norse explorers like Leif Erikson reached North American shores about 500 years before Christopher Columbus. Well, that's a true fact. Well, the next misconception is that Christopher Columbus proved that Earth was round. In reality, the concept of a spherical Earth was widely accepted only by educated Europeans, long before the Christopher Columbus voyages. But the truth of his travels is that he was achieved to find a westward route to Asia, not to prove the Earth's shape. Because a lot of speculation arose in that period that the Christopher Columbus purpose of its travels to the east was only to prove that the Earth's shape is round. So this one was okay. Well, actually, I don't want this one. Okay, no, perfect. And okay. The next misconception is about the Vikings wore hornet helmets. Well, contrary to popular beliefs, there is a little historical evidence to support the idea that Vikings wore hornet helmets in battle. This image likely originated in the artistic interpretations. Artistic interpretations. Okay, so this one does. Okay, next one we start with. The next misconception is related to Napoleon Bonaparte. Napoleon Bonaparte. Was he really short? Well, over time, its height was exaggerated. He was actually not very short. He measured a tallness of 5 feet and 6 inches, or 1.68 meters, which in modern standards will position him as a medium or average tall man. So Napoleon Bonaparte was right. Okay. The next, it's the Salem witches were burned at the stake. Well, while many people were confused and were accused of witchcraft during the Salem trials, none were burned at the stake. The accused ones were either hanged or died in prison. So, next misconception, it's related to Cleopatra. Well, Cleopatra was Egyptian. Well, actually, the famous queen was actually Macedonian Greek descent, as she was descent for one of the Alexanders the Great generals. But in most movies and stories she was depicted as with Egyptian roots. Okay, next. The Dark Ages were a time of complete intellectual darkness. Well, while the term Dark Ages often implies a period of intellectual stagnation, following the fall of the Western Roman Empire, there were significant advancements in various fields, including architecture, art, and scholarship. So, no, the Dark Ages were not time of complete intellectual darkness. Next, the Titanic crew were ordered not to stop for icebergs. Well, there is no evidence to support this, or the claim that the Titanic's crew were instructed to maintain speed and not steer to clear of icebergs. In fact, precautions were taken to avoid ice, but they were insufficient. Okay, so this one. Good. The founding fathers of United States were all devoted Christians? Well, while many of the founding fathers had religious beliefs, not all of them were devoted Christians. Some of them, like Thomas Jefferson and Benjamin Franklin, for example, were theists. Others have different kind of religion affiliations. Is it true that the Inquisition targeted primarily the witches? While witch hunts did occur during the Inquisitions, they were not the primary focus. The Inquisition's primary focus targeted heretics, Jews, Muslims, and other religious minority who were perceived as threats to the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church. So it's not true. This one is not true. Next, misconceptions. The Boston Tea Party dressed as Native Americans. While participants in the Boston Tea Party disguised themselves, there is a little evidence to support the widespread belief or rumors that they dressed as Native Americans. It's more likely that they wore nondescript clothing to conceal their identities. So another one. This one is short. Wow. Next. The Declaration of Independence was unanimous decision. Well, while the Continental Congress approved the Declaration of Independence, not all delegates present voted in favor of it. Some of them abstained. Okay, this one again is not. Wow. Next. George Washington had wooden teeth. Well, while George Washington had or did have dental problems, his dentures were made of various materials like ivory, gold, or human teeth, but not wood. So he has not wore wooden teeth. So guys, this one is next misconceptions. Did Albert Einstein failed at math in school? Well, Einstein was very clever and genius and proved to be a genius at mathematics even from young age, and there is no proof that he failed at math during his school and learning. So no, this one again. Okay, next. Is the Great Wall of China visible from space? Well, actually, while though it's visible from low Earth orbit, it's not easily distinguished without a powerful telescope or without an aid. So, Wall of China. This is not it. Next misconception. Did Abner Doubleday invented baseball? While Doubleday was a Union general during American Civil War, there is no evidence to support the claim that he invented baseball, but it evolved over time from earlier bat and ball games. Bat and ball games, so we don't have enough proof. Next, Isaac Newton discovered gravity when an apple fell on his head. Well, this is a very quite interesting story, and it's most often been told, but there is no evidence to suggest that the Newton formulated his theory of gravity based on apple falling on his head. But this story or rumors, it's only served as an anecdote. So this one we lack of proof. We don't have that. So next one. Was Genghis Khan a barbaric conqueror? While Genghis Khan certainly led brutal military campaigns over some territories, he also implemented various reforms on the conquered areas that contributed to the stability of the Mongol Empire. By the way, I made a video about the Genghis Khan and Mongol Empire earlier, last year I think. Next one is funny. Did Marco Polo introduce pasta to Italy? Well, we know that Marco Polo's travels to Asia were well documented, but meanwhile, pasta had already been consumed in Italy long before his time and travels. So no, this is not true. He didn't introduce pasta in Italy. Okay, next. It's about Vlad the Impaler. Vlad the Impaler inspired the character of Count Dracula, while Vlad the Third, known as Vlad the Impaler, was a Transylvanian historical figure. There is a little evidence to suggest that Bram Stoker based his fictional character Count Dracula directly on Vlad the Impaler. But the popular belief is that is so. Next, some misconception. The pyramids were built by slaves. Well, actually, while laborers working on pyramids were not free, they were likely skilled workers and architects who were compensated for their work rather than slaves. So, but this, it's not proven like augmented. And so, next, the Trojan horse was a real historical event. Uh, the story of the Trojan horse is likely to have a mythological tale rather than historical event, although it may have been inspired by some form of military stratagem. The French Revolution was solely about overthrowing the monarchy. Well, while the overthrow of the monarchy was a very important aspect of the French Revolution, the French Revolution was a complex period of political changes and social ones, upheaval with various factions and ideologies, and this cannot be proven that the French Revolution was started only to throw the monarchy out. Nero fiddled while Rome burned. The historical accuracy of this claim is under the question mark. It's likely a myth that originated as political propaganda to discredit Nero. 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 Next one. The Civil War was solely about overthrowing slavery. Well, while slavery was a central issue, the causes of civil war were multi-faced and included also social and economic factors. But one of them was the slavery, yes. So this is partial true, but not all. And the pilgrims landed on the Plymouth Rock. There is no contemporary evidence to support the claim that the pilgrims landed specially at Plymouth Rock. The story is only originated as a myth. And the last one, it's the Renaissance was a period of universal enlightenment. While the Renaissance was characterized by advancement in art, learning, literature, and architecture, it was also marked by social, political, and religious upheaval. So, not all the segments of the society experienced the same level of enlightenment. Good. So, if you ask me, I have no clue how many I read, how many misconceptions. My purpose was to read 30, but I think I read more of them. If you are still here and watching, thank you. Thank you again for watching this till the end. And of course, now, as an outro, I wish you all the best. And until next time, which will be tomorrow when we all continue our geography facts, travels around the globe with Madagascar, I wish you Meanwhile, all the best, all the best. And if you aren't subscribed, don't forget to do it. It's the only thing that I'm asking for, and it will encourage me to make more and more